Today, we investigate the newest, most innovative coatings to hit the market, and we meet the guy behind the formulas and the company that is Ceramic Coating Inc. And we are greeted today by the lovely Michael Heel. Michael, how's it going today?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hello,
Wonderful.
hello.
Wonderful to have you on. This is going to be a bonus episode, so we're keeping it short. We're going to have him on for a full, podcast later down the road once I try these bad boys and have a lot more questions, and more people are going to have questions as the kind of the news of this new company gets out and more people try it and stuff. But he has 3 coatings right now ready to go. We got the mobile coating, we got advanced, and we got the glass coating. He also has some panel surface prep and a mineral deposit remover. Is that all the products we got right now, Michael?
That's us right now, and we've got a couple of things in the work right now. We've got a topper spray or a maintenance spray, and then we've got an 18-month coating in the works right now. Hopefully, by the end of the year, we'll have those out. But we're doing a lot of testing right now on those to get those perfected and make sure that they're the top of the list, on all the testing and everything. So
very cool.
Yeah. Well, I had the pleasure of spending a whole week with Michael over as a part of the Motorlux detail team of Monterey Car Week when PNS goes out there to wipe down $1 million cars and all that fun stuff. But me and Michael got to talking, and actually Tony Mazzeo, who's on our guest on Wintercast later today, said you have to talk to Michael. You got to get the scoop on these coatings, and they're going to help you out a lot because we have similar temperatures. As Michael's from Georgia, he has high humidity and high heat. Right now, we're in a terrible heat wave, and he's developed these coatings to work in this scenario. So, Michael, take it away. Who is Michael Heel, and kind of give us the lowdown on how you developed these coatings and Ceramic Coating Inc.
Okay. So I've been detailing for around 18 years. It's kind of a side hustle for a while. I think that's kind of the way a lot of us start out in doing that. My background is in engineering for a lot of Tier 1 automotive. So I did that up until 2018, and then got into doing detailing full time. Started working for a lab in 2015 as a second job that does surface technology for a lot of the OEMs, testing paint surfaces, their new clear coats, that type of stuff. And as detailing, I'm a firm believer in God we trust. All others must provide data, kind of things. And a lot of the stuff is kind of as the snake oil salesman, you get the sales pitch and then you ask why, and they just kind of look at you kind of funny on some stuff. So I wanted to see, hey, how does this stuff work? Does it do what the claims are? And, in the detailing world, there's some pretty wild claims on some companies out there that us as detailers, we have to, deal with that type of stuff because customers come in with unrealistic expectations and things like that. So I got really heavy into the surface technology. I went and trained with Randy Doyle in 2017, and he and I got to talking about some stuff. And 2019, I passed an M644 test, which is a TS 19649. I mean, a TS certified testing. And then we
went a lot of numbers.
Yeah. Over 9 viewers here. So.
Yeah. if it's more than 3 syllables, I'm out.
That's right.
But so we got basically a broad spectrum of, okay, what is the testing we can do that's repeatable and that we can test all these coating against. So we started, we got that developed and then started doing testing in the lab to say, okay, let's see, what these guys are living up to. And, there's a lot of great coating companies out there, and a lot of the products that I've used, since I've been detailing, and, the innovation, keeps going. And, almost every day you're like, hey, this is the new and greatest and things like that. And so in looking at this, I kind of got, tired of kind of basing, my company off of sales pitches and, getting something and having issues with it or it not performing the way it should or, just a lot of variables like that. So I'm like, well, I guess it's about that time. So we got
about that time.
About that time. I was like, hey, I want to develop a coating and a company that is no marketing. We don't do any hype. That we just make products that work for detailers. One of the big things about CCI is we don't want you guys to put banners and have swag and things like that. We want you to push your own brand. We want you to say, hey, this is Jamie the Cleaner. We use a sediment technology coating and use some of the best out there. And so we want you guys to succeed, and we want something that you guys can, grab off the shelf that's going to be repeatable every time. When you're putting it on the vehicles, you know how it's going to act. You know you're not going to have issues with it, with 100-degree weather and 80% humidity, or a nice 60-degree with 10% humidity, where you're only grab that and can put it on the vehicle and not have any issues.
This highlighted area I think is really important. Easy to apply and maintain.
Easy to apply and maintain.
I mean, I'm sure Jamie and I have come across Jamie more so than me, but some coatings that are a bit of a nightmare to apply. But again, that just kind of comes with the territory, and of course, your environmental conditions come into play as well.
And then of course, I wash it and then make a video, and then the company comes on and says, you got to use this soap. You didn't use the right soap. You didn't hit it with this. You
got to wash it 29 more times.
That's right. You got to wash it 5 more times to make it work. So
exactly.
We've seen it all.
There, it's going to last for 20 years.
Yeah, we've seen it all at this point, from regular the 10 layers ceramic coatings, to graphene, to titanium, to all kind of craziness that has been the marketing hype over the last few years. And when you come to when you say testing, I want everybody to get it specific. You're not just out there like washing a hood 100 times. You're not doing the YouTube torture tests that kind of pop up in people's brains. Talk a little bit about the testing you've done through all these coatings.
We have a laboratory here that does OEM surface technology, so we're able to do a very exact testing on like pH scales, pH resistance on the coatings. We have an ability to zoom in and tell you how much actual product is adhering to the surface. So we can say, when you apply this particular coating, you're getting 1.1, 1.2 microns of thickness. We have the ability to go in and do photospectrometers that's going to give you the gloss enhancement, the clarity of the coating on there, give you adhesion strength. We test 10 different metals, which are the most common metals that are going to come in contact with the painted surface, such as different metallic makeups like keys, rings, things like that. They are known, to contact your vehicle surface. And we do a scratch test on there. Basically, we see how much it actually indents into the coating, or if it pops all the way through. And we do this with a very controlled and repeatable method. So that way we get, everything's tested the exact same way. We also have an advanced weathering machine that we can type in basically anywhere in the world that we want to, and it's going to take the previous year's rainfall content, water content.
Jeez. Wow.
That's no joke.
All that type of stuff, and then we can test it, based on extreme, temperatures or conditions wherever you're at, and it mimics that by the year, and it can repeat that as many years, and then we can take it out. We can look to see how much the coating degraded, if UV played any type of degradation on the coatings, and get a real world feel of kind of, okay, this is how long this should last. And one of the big things that we do with our company is we test to 40%. And what that means is a lot of companies will say, hey, this is a 6-year coating, but they're testing to 0. So if it's got 2% of the coating still left on the surface,
right? Yep.
6 years, it's still there. And so we test down to 40% is when the coating starts losing some of its attributes that are important.
Which is fair.
And I kind of, tie that over into a tire. If you've got a 60,000 mile tire that 60,000 miles, all the bands are showing, and it's holding on for dear life, then that tire failed a long time ago.
Yeah, still holds there. It's good.
That's right.
I love this because it's the engineering juices are flowing. I can certainly see that in kind of the total nerding out, which I think is so cool. That, I mean, again, you touched on it earlier before, that you're not so much into the marketing, you're into the kind of nitty gritty and the nerdy stuff and making something that just works.
Yes, and this
is
why cool. You see, you were why immediately I started posting about. I started sharing. I started telling you. I'm like, we're gonna have Michael on real quick because the man's talking about coding fracture points, and then it's like, oh, something's okay.
And I mean, like, and again, the 40%, that's being real. I mean, that's real, also cool because I mean, like, there's a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, California may get 3-5 years out of a coating, whereas me, with even though the car is garage kept, it's still exposed to some of the worst conditions possible, with snow, ice for so many months out of the year, and sometimes I just don't want the coating to last as long as it should. Maybe I want to just quick polish, remove it, and like you like nerding out, I like nerding out with new stuff. So, just pop off that coating and start fresh and have at her.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so you'll see a lot of people have asked, it's like, man, you guys don't offer a longer coating than 3 to 5 years. It's like, well, if we did like the industry standard is and said, hey, we tested a 0, then we can run it out as long as we want to.
Right.
Just remnants type stuff. And that kind of stuff is so subjective to each detailer who applies that. There's so many variables that are going to go into that we, our main thing is if we under promise and extremely over deliver, then I'm happy with it. If
exactly.
you're expecting 3 to 5 years out of it and you get 10, hey, that's wonderful. But I can
there you go.
Guarantee you that you're going to be hitting that 3 to 5 year mark extremely easy, no matter what went on in the application process.
There you go. So I posted a picture on Instagram of these coatings, and the first question was, what sets these ceramic coatings apart in particular? I know you mentioned sediment coatings earlier, so talk us through kind of the formula here as much as you can.
See, once you guys get the bottle, it'll have powder in the bottom of it. So that's a sediment in the bottom of it. So a lot of times in a lot of your coatings, they have to use 20% of that bottle to basically give it full liquid suspension. So a lot of that stuff is in there just to hold the solids in place in the suspension. And then you're kind of limited on what you can put in there, because a lot of these guys like to have, optical clarity, or say it's, super clear when you can look through the bottle. They don't want any of that type of stuff. But a lot of that stuff doesn't matter when you're doing the application. So you're going to see that in the bottom. And that gives us the ability to put a lot different substrates in there that are going to form that crystalline structure when it hardens on your surface. And we can put a lot of different stuff in there than you could if you had to suspend everything. So it gives us pretty free range of what we can put in there, as long as they can chemically bond to the surface. Then, like I said, we can add those for different properties that we're looking for. So that's one of the main things you're going to see. So when you get this coating, you're going to need to shake it really well, usually for about 2 minutes. As I'm kind of setting everything up, I'm giving it a real hard shake, and most everything will come off the bottom. If there's a little piece here and there, it's not going to matter that much. And then as you're applying, so you can do a panel or 2 panels, and then give it a good shake and continue with that. So that's one.
Go ahead and walk us through coating application. Then it's to the mobile to the advanced. Is there a big difference to the two, or are they going to apply pretty similarly?
There's a pretty huge difference in the two. So the advanced, of course, is our flagship or top of the line coating, and we've got everything in that that's built for chemical resistance, which is one of the main reasons that coatings fail, is due to chemical exposure and making those fail. So that was one of the huge focuses that we went into this. We've got a massive chemical resistance, and a lot of people have already tried this within the detail mafia and CPD, certified professional detailer group. Basically throwing everything on it and like, man, you can't get this stuff to come off. And that's if we got it rejecting everything out there, then that was our main goal. The next one was optical clarity on there. So in doing testing, there's only about 3 other coatings out there that are going to give you the optical clarity to the soil once it cures. And the main thing in behind that is a lot of people will put your solids in there, and they're called an industrial standard size. And that's basically the particle size of your solids in your coating. We use 1 step above medical grade. So the particle size is extremely small. So it'd be the metaphor of taking a 1 pound block of wood and cutting it into pencil size shape, and then putting in a 1x1 box of how everything is going to kind of lined up. It's going to be kind of jagged. And if you take that 1 pound block of wood, turn it into toothpick size, which is kind of where we're at, molecular size, throw it in there, everything's going to be a much tighter weave and bonded much tighter together. So that's another bonus to this particular coating. We try to stay away from saying it has filling properties, but it does have the ability, and we thought about this a lot, of how to say this without saying, hey, it's going to fill in everything, because that's not real. But it does have the ability to take a good compounded polish job to the next level due to the way that it levels out on the surface. So UV, chemical resistance, scratch resistance is, if you want to use the H scale, is probably 9.5 to 10.
Okay.
We'll talk later about that scale. I have an issue with that. But hey, so that's how that particular coating in. One of the main reasons I wanted to develop this stuff is, once we got done with the compounding and polishing parts of the vehicle, you kind of got to step up, like, all right, take a deep breath because now we're into the panic stage of putting the coating on.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, you got to start doing stretches. You got to get your Gatorade juice drink.
Your calisthenics.
Got a towel on my head. Got a towel in my pocket. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter comes to the shop a lot with me, and I was like, you know, if I've got a panel that's coated, she falls down. I'm like, all right, honey, just bleed right there for a minute. Get this panel wiped off, you know.
We'll be there in a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a lot of life stuff that happens, or you know, you can't control.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the things we did as well. I mean, we this coating, you apply it, you wait 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, and then take it off. You've got plenty of time. We've got guys that are applying this different climates that are waiting 7, 8, 9 minutes to take it off.
Wow.
And once this coating bonds to the surface, it'll actually start rejecting itself. So once X amount actually bonds to the surface, then the remaining parts that are on there actually starts getting rejected back off the panel. And that's one of the ways that it makes it extremely, extremely easy to wipe off, because you're
basically so it's helping you out getting itself off of itself. Wow.
You'll see it. It'll start. Some people call it like a sweat or something like that. But it'll start beating up and basically becoming hydrophobic to its own self.
Interesting.
But like I said, you've got plenty of time. You know, if we, even here in Georgia with, you know, 95-degree weather and 80% humidity, if I leave a high spot and I get back around to the other side, I can usually within 20, 30 minutes go back and get that off.
Wow, that's pretty good.
It's very, very forgiving coating.
Yeah.
My daughter's 9 years old and she can apply it to a car and won't have any hot spots when we get done with it.
Beautiful.
So that was kind of my goal of doing that, is us as detailers, you know, that's like, okay, cool, I'm now to the coating stage. We're home free now. Let me just get this stuff on there.
There you go. Now let's chat glass coating. Walk us through the glass coating real quick and the application of it as well.
So the glass coating, you want to make sure that your glass is extremely clean. This right here does penetrate down into the glass versus staying a sheet on the outside of it. So the cleaner you get your glass, the more open pores you have in the glass, the better this is going to work. So I like to take stuff like P&S Clarity Cream. You'll do a polish on the glass and then panel prep it off and then panel prep it one more time. So the glass coating you want to put on, same with Advanced, you want to put it on really thick. This stuff is going to go on kind of like molasses, and most people get nervous. They're like, oh God, this is never coming off. So you want to make sure to use a good bit of product. Same goes with the glass. So you'll put it on really heavy on the glass. As you go over it, it's going to flash dry and just go over it and then come back and cross hatch it. And you'll want it to kind of be streaked, but you don't want it to the part where you've got, you can see like water spots where you put it on so thick. So I'll do the front glass that way really heavy, go around, do all the other glass, come back and hit the front windshield one more time in the same way. And then leave it on a minimum of 30 minutes to an hour. But you can leave it on overnight. You can leave it on weather, take it off, whatever way you want to. So once again, tying back into that ease of application. We usually apply it in the evening times and then come back in the next morning when we're doing delivery prep and just wipe it off. Just take a single microfiber and hit it, and it's like a real super fine powder that's going to come off of it.
Interesting.
It's easy to do.
And what's the durability on that glass coating?
So you're looking at 2 to 3 years on the front glass with abrasion on it, and then on your side glass or flat glass, easy, 6, 7, 8 years, pretty easy.
Good grief.
Yeah, the side glass isn't beat up nearly as much, but that's pretty good for the front windshield though. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We've got some of the guys from the Detail Mafia. It's like, hey, I'm going to do a side by side on it, so I'm going to polish this half off, and I know it's going to happen. We can't get it off.
Yeah.
So it's coming back 30 minutes later, and like, hey man, we've been compounding on the side, and we can't get this stuff off the glass. I was like, well, that's kind of how it's designed. It's kind of the point. Just abrasion and things like that. That particular one, so the hydrophobics on that are excellent. There are some that will be more hydrophobic, but they're not going to have the lasting effect on it as well. And being that it soaks into the glass, if you got sandblasting and things like that on the glass, it will ease a lot of that up, ease a lot of your up, and make it a little bit more clarity and take some of the glare and things like that out.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Well, Michael, I can't wait to get using these coatings. I just got them in this week. Got the glass coating on the way. He just restocked it. So go check them out before they sell out again. They are in hot demand right now. So go check it out. Michael, give us the plugs and we'll get you out of here. We appreciate it.
Do a quick thing on the mobile. So the mobile we developed for our mobile guys, You can literally take this coating on 140 circuit degree temperature in direct sunlight and coat an entire hood on a black denali. And then
holy smokes! Holy crap!
Good grief!
This is great for our mobile guys, that have all types of stuff thrown at them, no matter what's out there. And you're going to get easily 2 to 3 years out of it. We recommend putting a really hot topper on it. Something like NS Defender. Works of putting on there, but it's meant for our mobile guys. Same kind of application. You put it on and give it about a minute and a half, and take it off. But it's friendly no matter what the conditions are outside or direct sunlight. You can still apply this. At least probably a panel at a time. Direct sunlight, direct heat.
Right.
There you go, Mike. Where can they find these beautiful coatings?
You can go to Ceramic Coating Inc. Inc.com. When you hit the website, everything will be nice black and orange on there, so you'll know you're at the right place.
Yep.
And just browse through the products on there. We're really easy to get in touch with. You can find me on Facebook or Ceramic Coating Inc. Post up, any questions. I'll either call you directly or, I'm big into the technical support and helping our installers on this.
And there you go. No, what's it called? Certifications. You don't have to submit, pictures or nothing like that. These are ready to go for everybody, right?
These are ready to go for detailers. We made them for detailers. Either you're starting off doing this right here, but we made them friendly for everybody to use, and you're going to get, extremely high-end product, very user-friendly. And we're designing this, just for our pro detailers and, people who are learning. There's no frills, no certifications, none of that type of stuff. And we're probably only going to end up having, maybe 8 to 10 SKUs, but when we're putting stuff out there in the world, we're just making sure that it's the absolute best product, on the market, and that we can back up every claim we've got through science and testing. And like I said, we were looking for, forward to hearing feedback from you guys, especially.
There you go. Well, yeah, Dewar, there wasn't a coating I could throw out, and I've tested a lot of coatings, Dewar. There wasn't a coating I could throw out that the man did not test yet. So he's done it all. Well, Michael, we're gonna have you on for a full episode down the road.
Definitely,
like I said,
definitely.
We'll get to testing them, and we're gonna deep dive these bad boys again, probably in a couple months or so. But it was a pleasure. We'll get you out of here, and everybody go check out Ceramic Coating Inc. Michael, anything on the way out?
Great talking to you guys. And I want to say just thank you for all the support we've gotten. And so we look forward to hearing all your success stories with your business, and for everybody growing their brand and growing their business. And CCI will be there, like I said, to support you guys and give you guys great products to be successful.
There you go. We appreciate it.
Thanks for jumping on.
Okay.